For our final project, we will be evaluating sexual assault on college campuses. Sexual assault is an extremely common public health issue that affects the mental, emotional, and physical well-being of thousands of college students nationwide. Sexual assault is any unwanted sexual behavior or contact that happens without the consent of the recipient. Sexual assault is an issue that does not discriminate against any race, gender, ethnicities, or sexual orientation. The scope of the problem is extremely wide-reaching. 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault while in school, and most sexual assault cases happen very early on in a college career. Women are at a heightened risk for sexual harassment during their first 2 semesters of college. Also, lesbian or bisexual women are more likely to be sexually harassed than straight women. There are many contributing factors to the scope of sexual assault issue, including drug and alcohol abuse, which impairs one's ability to give consent. Underreporting also contributes to the scope of the problem. Only 1 in 5 women in college actually report their assault to police. Peer pressure and stigma also create a culture that is very favorable to sexual harassment. For example, the Brock Turner and the Vanderbilt rape cases. Young adults may feel pressure to drink alcohol or use drugs in order to fit in during the first semesters of college, and the stigma surrounding sexual assault makes it an issue that is not openly talked about, especially here in the South. Sexual assault is primarily an individual and interpersonal public health issue. However, cultural norms and social climates play a large role in shaping an environment in which sexual assault can occur. It is largely the role of public health policy interventions to protect those at the center of the socioeconomic model from being victims of sexual assault. Basically, sexual assault fits the entire model. Title IX is a federal civil rights law that prohibits discrimination in education on the basis of sex. Title IX states that schools are required to have a designated Title IX coordinator, and they must have clear grievance procedures for discrimination or sexual assault cases. It also states that employees must be adequately trained, responses to issues concerning Title IX must be timely, reporting options must be made clear to the victims. The accuser and the accused have equal rights, and the accusers have protection against possible retaliation. Our policy proposal fits into the organization component of SEM and is essentially information and regulation while revamping of current sexual assault education and prevention infrastructure. Our policy is a 2-step enhancement of crisis centers on campus. The goal of our policy is to provide a more in-depth education to all students and provide extra opportunities for statistical at-risk groups to become more educated on sexual assault prevention. Our policy consists of seminars and simulations at the beginning of the academic year to give students a more real-life depiction of what sexual assault is and how to prevent it. The second part of our policy consists of following up seminars with statistically at-risk groups such as male athletes and fraternity and sorority members. There will be 1 follow-up seminar at the beginning of the spring semester for these at-risk groups, in which students will participate in small group sessions as well as group discussions. We have detailed our policy using the SMART model: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-limited. Our specific goal is to increase sexual assault education and prevention for all undergraduate students, especially those at a higher risk, by the use of real-life simulations conducted by and with the Crisis Center of Birmingham. Our measurable goal is by 2021 have the recorded incidence of assault decreased by 10% compared to the 2 academic school years before implementation. Our achievable goal is surveying students on if they've gained knowledge about the subject and if they feel more confident intervening, and if they feel safer and more confident on reporting instances. Our relevant goal: by sexual assault victims may face health problems including anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. 1 in 3 students who have experienced sexual assault had difficulty in school, while 1 in 5 students considered leaving school altogether. Finally, time management. 2018 to 2019 school year began working with the Crisis Center on simulation and all components that would be needed. By 2019-2020, implementation of the simulation and use feedback given to modify if needed. By 2020 to 2021, run simulation for that year, and at the end of the academic year, reevaluate the 2019 to 2021 to the 2017 to 2019 school years. We will evaluate our policy success by student reactions and their subsequent behavioral changes. Possible opponents to our proposed policy intervention might be the Interfraternity Council, the National Pan-Hellenic Council, and college athletic coaches. These groups might oppose our policy because in addition to mandatory seminars that the students already with busy schedules might be deemed too demanding of a time commitment. The cultural norms and barriers may also be different for international students, which is something to take into account when trying to make a culturally acceptable and appropriate intervention about sexual assault. Another main challenge will be funding. However, funding could come through a grant since this is a hot topic on campuses. Funding could also come from community stakeholders such as RAINN, RAIN, One Group, the Crisis Center, UAB, and local companies